Hi everybody. This video is designed to help you when explaining to people why CFX is neither a pyramid or a Ponzi scheme. This question comes up quite a lot and always amuses me because on the face of it, when this question arises, I quite simply say, yeah, I understand why you say that. Where's your evidence? And the response tends to come back most of the time, that's what it looks like. Seen it before, whatever the response might be. However, if I could give you 7 pieces of evidence as to why CFX is neither a pyramid or a Ponzi scheme, I'm sure you would be able to find that of use. So that is the purpose of this video, to run through those 7 reasons in detail, and hopefully that will help you enlighten and educate your prospects, your guests, as to why CFX is neither a pyramid or a Ponzi scheme. So first thing I say to people is, what do you mean by pyramid? Do you mean pyramid format or pyramid scheme? Pyramid format is the same as any other business on the planet that's got 3 or more people in it. That is a pyramid format, simple as that. But obviously what they're referring to is a pyramid scheme and a Ponzi scheme, both of which are, of course, fraudulent. So let's run through 7 reasons as to why CFX is not a Ponzi scheme. So what I'm going to do is, for each item, I'm going to do a direct comparison. And please feel free to utilize any or all of this video to help you, as I say, educate your prospects. So the very first thing to look at with any type of pyramid or Ponzi scheme is, who are the owners? Can you actually find out who the owners are? Because 9 times out of 10 you won't. They are invisible. There may well be some visible people, the scapegoats if you like, that when the thing collapses, their heads are going to roll, but you won't find out who the owners are. They will want to remain anonymous for obvious reasons. Compare that to CashFX. We have a highly visible, reachable, contactable CEO. Any director who is in the directors and above chat group on Telegram is in daily contact. I am in daily contact with the CEO. There's hardly a day goes by we do not have some form of communication with Huascar. That is critically important. The next item on the list is the legality of the platform. Well, quite honestly, a pyramid and Ponzi scheme is fraudulent. That's what it's designed and set up to do from day one. Whereas in comparison with CFX, we have a completely authentic and sincere CEO. You only have to attend any of the end of month calls, and if you haven't seen any, I implore you to see to get as many under your belt as you can, because you just need to listen to Huascar and where he's coming from. And that authenticity and sincerity comes through in his email messages in your back office as well. So they are totally different, and we'll get into a little bit more detail as to why they're not. Time frame. Now this is an interesting one, because in the fast-paced digital want everything now world that we live in, the world is hypersensitive to anything that appears to be a pyramid scheme or a Ponzi scheme. So the time frame that anything that starts out in this format, and how, in terms of how long it will last, we would have to give it no more than 3 to 6 months maximum. It would collapse. It would become highly apparent in that very short space of time what that scheme is and how it works. Compare that to CFX. Phase 1 was years 1 to 2, first 2 years. Phase 2 is years 3 to 5. We're now in year 3. CFX is just growing from strength to strength. Withdrawals. This is another good one, because in a fraudulent scheme, any kind of withdrawal is actively discouraged for obvious reasons, because the money coming in at the bottom is funding those in the scheme. In a fraudulent scheme, either it's funding some of those people or all of the people, so it's actively discouraged. Compare that to CashFX, and it's actively encouraged. And in fact, up until recently, it was actually a requirement that you had to withdraw your returns in order to upgrade your account. And we all know that we now have a facility available to us that we can do an internal upgrade if we wish, but that you can do it whichever way you want. Whether you do an internal upgrade or you request a withdrawal, you can remove those funds and do with those funds what you wish to do with. That's your money. If you choose to upgrade, that's entirely up to you. So there's a huge difference there. The next one, and I think this is probably my favorite, because it's quite simply do the mathematics, because in any fraudulent scheme, very few people earn. Simple as that. Compare that to CFX, every member gets paid. Every member has money going to their account every week from the trading returns, and as long as there's $100 in that account, those funds can be withdrawn. So let's take this to another level. Now, what people are looking at when they come up with the word pyramid or Ponzi scheme is that they see the money coming in is quite simply paying everyone else, or the funds you are withdrawing are just coming from the funds of people coming in. Now, let's just do some quick number crunching. Let's say that we have on average, and I'm sure it's, if not this figure, then close to it, sometimes a bit more, sometimes a bit less, but let's say we have about an average of 1,000 people a day around the world joining CFX. Fine. As we know, most people do come in at a low amount to start off with. They may upgrade or add more capital later, but a lot of people come in at $300, $500 to dip their toes in the water, and that's absolutely fine. However, there's others that come in with a lot more. So let's take an average. Let's say the average, and I think it's a fair average to take, of $1,000 average pack size from new members joining. So that would be 1,000 members with $1,000 per day. That is $1 million per day. Over a course of a week, it's obviously $7 million. So there's $7 million coming in to the company. If you divide 7 million by the current membership, around about 350,000, that means, ladies and gents, we're all going to get about $20 each. Okay, you could argue the point that you could carve that $20 each up a little bit more and maybe give people that are on a smaller pack maybe half that, because that's what a smaller pack would return, $10, $11, $12, depending on the returns for that week, and others that have larger packs a bit more. But quite simply, the maths do not work. You've just got to crunch the numbers on a calculator and look at how much people are withdrawing on a weekly basis. It just does not work. If that's the only way we got paid, it would have ended many moons ago, probably within 3 to 6 months, I suspect. So that's one of my favorites. The next one is the business model itself. Now, obviously an illegal, fraudulent pyramid or Ponzi scheme is flawed. It's flawed from the outset for obvious reasons. Compare that to what we have in CFX. And this is where I bow to the experience, the vast experience that we have in CFX of people that have been involved in networking style businesses and in the business world itself. We've got many people in CFX that have been around networking the industry and space for decades. Some have been in for 30, 40 plus years in and around networking businesses. And I bow to their experience, because the common denominator that comes back, and I hear it time and time again from all these people with this kind of experience, is the business model that we have here in CFX is nothing short of genius. It's a unique program that's been put together in an extraordinarily clever way. So that's another area where this is vastly different. And finally, let's look at what happens when enrollment ends, when people stop joining the platform. If it's a pyramid or a Ponzi scheme, quite simply, that's the end of it. There is no more, because it's totally reliant upon the funds coming in. Let's look at Cash FX, and let's look at what would happen if CFX closed the doors on the membership. So let's say CFX say from midnight tonight, that's it, no one else can join, membership is closed. What would happen tomorrow is every member of CFX would continue to receive the trading returns. Fine, those returns would go into our balance, at the end of each week. And guess what? We'd be withdrawing those profits and upgrading our accounts, which means matrix payments would continue, fast start payments would continue, unilevel payments would continue. In other words, the CFX members' incomes continue to increase. It carries on. Now, just going back to the business model, while I think of it, I will be doing another video to follow up on this that will discuss that business model in detail and show you how the platform is designed to help its members for the first, depending on what size pack size people come in at, that business model is designed to help the members for the first 4 to 5 years or less, depending how quickly you get to the 100K level, and then from thereafter how it benefits both the member and the company. And that business model will also help answer the question with regard to longevity in the business, because the way Huascar and Edwin have set this scheme up is it's a phenomenal business plan and business model, and it is, you'll see from the video that I've yet to put together, but I will do it in a way that it'll become very apparent that the longevity of the company is not in question, because this has been set up specifically to run for many years. This is going to become a legacy business, a legacy company, and it'll become, if not $1 billion company, $1 trillion company. So I hope you find that of use. Those 7 reasons. There's not one straight answer, but there's many reasons that you can have there to counteract that argument, and maybe even you'll get used to getting those responses when someone calls the opportunity you're describing to them as a pyramid scheme, and maybe the same if it's someone describes it as a Ponzi scheme. So I hope you find that of use, and watch out for the next video. I'll take you through that business model as well. Thanks for listening. Hope you find that of use to you.